Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. The Radio and TV News Endowment, a fund established by listeners and viewers to sustain reporting of Indiana news. More information at indianapublicmedia.org/support. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk, we'll introduce you to some Hoosiers who put down money for their dream homes only to end up with no house and now no money.
I'm just pissed. I'm really pissed.
Ahead, the complicated legal case and how it might be resolved. Plus, the juvenile who's accused of shooting a teacher and a student at a Noblesville school appeared in court this week. We had a reporter inside the courtroom who will join us coming up. Rural communities face a number of challenges simply because they're more isolated. Ahead, how a rural Indiana school district is taking the lead by developing a new healthcare model.
We just received a report that we're exceeding any expectation as far as what the provider had hoped that our group would be realizing.
Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, two banks are trying to foreclose on properties in Bloomington's Gentry Crest neighborhood, where some people put hundreds of thousands of dollars down to build their dream homes. But several of those homes sit unfinished, and construction crews never even broke ground on some of the other lots. As Barbara Brozier reports, the people who shelled out the money are now worried they'll be left with nothing.
When Leanne Cochran decided to build her first home, it didn't take long for her to settle on a location.
It was in a smaller area, nice community, close to downtown, close to my family. And I've always wanted to kind of pick out everything myself.
She chose a lot in Bloomington's Gentry Crest, the newest neighborhood from Gentry Construction in real estate. Cochran picked out a floor plan and signed a check for a more than $42,000 down payment last year.
It's probably the biggest check I've written, for sure, but I was excited. I did trust them too. Gentry is a company that's been around Bloomington for, I think, almost 30 years.
But more than a year later, Cochran's lot sits empty.
So it's from the fence over to the black light post. Was going to be my lot.
Shortly after she signed a contract with Gentry, construction on the house stalled. Cochran tried to reschedule meetings to pick out finishes for her home, but never got a response. Then she got a call from a friend saying the owner of the company, Ben Beard, was out of money.
I feel robbed. I was like sad, I was angry, I just was like in disbelief, I was in shock. I'm just pissed. I'm really pissed.
And she isn't alone in those feelings. Cochran is one of several people taking Gentry to court for breach of contract. A judge ordered the company to pay another hopeful homeowner more than $56,000 plus attorney fees for breaching a contract earlier this year. And another lawsuit is pending, where a woman claims Gentry used fraudulent representations to get her to put more than $300,000 down on a Gentry Crest property in order to receive a discount. The lawsuit claims the company misrepresented the situation so it could receive payment without any intent to build the home. Court documents allege that in addition to committing fraud and breach of contract, Gentry violated Indiana's Senior Consumer Protection Act and Deceptive Consumer Sales Act. And Gentry is also in trouble with some of the contractors it hires to work on properties. Court documents allege the company owes JJ's Concrete Construction more than $41,000 for work completed on several properties. And Experience Technology claims in a lawsuit it installed audio-visual and electronic equipment in 15 Gentry homes, but received no payment. It wants the more than $75,000 the company says Gentry owes. Work is halted on several lots in Gentry Crest because of all of these court issues. As you can see, this home, all that's complete is a foundation. It's unclear if and when construction will resume on these partially complete lots because this is caught up in a foreclosure case as well. Old National Bank is trying to foreclose on 5 different Gentry Crest properties, saying that the owner of the company owes them more than $1.6 million in loan payments. At the same time, Owen County State Bank is trying to foreclose on 2 other properties here, saying that the owner owes them hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a complicated, expensive situation that leaves people like Cochran with a lot of unanswered questions. At the top of that list, what happened to all of the money?
That's a lot of money to just dish out and then, you know, never get back or never see it again. It didn't go into anything, but it, you know, it helped him pay whoever. I don't know where it went. I would love to see his financial statements.
She's hoping to recover a down payment through her lawsuit, but is unsure what will happen to this land or her dream of building a home.
I'm not willing to step back from this at all. I will get something out of it, and that's all I can do.
Reporter Barbara Brozier is here to tell us more. Oh boy, Barbara,
Tough story.
It is. So now what happens to these families? They put all this money down. What's the next step for them?
Well, so much of this is caught up in the court system, which is kind of frustrating for them because courts take a long time. So we know that at least the 5 families that are impacted by this Old National Bank foreclosure case, which is still pending, they could learn more next week. There's a hearing in that case. Now, the court has appointed what's called a receiver. That's someone who's basically maintaining, overseeing those properties, and he is supposed to prepare them for sale. The families do have an opportunity to bid on those properties. Right now, we know of just one that is intending to go ahead and continue moving forward with the property in Gentry Crest.
So if those people don't end up living on the lots, because they don't really own that lot, right? So what happened?
Well, that's still caught up in the courts as well. But basically, it's unclear if they'll get their money back through this foreclosure case. With the foreclosure case, the bank is trying to get its money back. So that's its first priority. There have been some counterclaims filed on behalf of the family saying, hey, we deserve some of this money too. They may have to go through their own civil court proceeding, which we've seen some people like Cochran, who we saw in the story, go forward with to try and recoup some of that money.
And then what about the people who live in that neighborhood already? Have you had a chance to talk to any of those people?
We did talk to a couple this week, and they're watching the legal proceedings as well because they're worried about their home values being negatively impacted by this. And they see things that are partially complete right outside their window. The street isn't even paid there, so the city cannot provide city services like trash service. And I should point out that we did reach out to the owner, Ben Beard, the owner of Gentry, multiple times, and his attorney, but they did not respond to requests for comment.
All right, Barbara, thank you very much. Jason Seaman, the teacher who stopped a school shooting at Noblesville West Middle School several weeks ago, says he'll return to school in the fall. Seaman and student Ella Whistler were both shot multiple times. The 13-year-old suspect in the case hasn't yet been identified. Education reporter Eric Weddle was in the courtroom this week for a hearing, and he joins us now. Eric, oh boy, another tough story. Seaman and some of the students were in the courtroom as well. What was the atmosphere like?
Sure, well, it was held in the Hamilton County Circuit Court, and the 13-year-old boy, he was brought in for the hearing in front of a magistrate judge. He was wearing an orange and white jumpsuit. He was brought in by 2 officers. His parents and attorney were at the table waiting for him. And, you know, when he sat down, you know, he got some arms around the shoulders from his parents and his attorney. And basically, he just sat there and listened to the magistrate for the 17-minute hearing. It was very short. He answered yes and no. He was very stoic. showed no emotion throughout it, spoke very clearly, and his parents were the same. They did not show much emotion as they listened to all of what he is accused of doing.
And Eric, we know the juvenile will not be tried as an adult in this case, so what happens next?
Right, so in Indiana, due to his age of being 13, the charges that he would have be against if he was 14, such as attempted murder, he will not be facing those. Instead, the judge is going to hold what's called a fact-finding hearing on June 25th and June 26th is the current schedule. And the judge will hear basically what the accusations are, and he'll determine if he is found to be a delinquent. And that's kind of what the hearing will decide. And if that he's found to be delinquent, the judge can then decide what will happen to him after that.
Jason Seaman is being hailed as a hero for tackling that student shooter. Do you know anything about how he's recovering in that incident?
Well, I have not spoken to him directly, but he has been out in the community a lot. Just in the days after the shooting, the Monday after the shooting, he held a press conference. He has been going out around Noblesville. He seems to be doing well. He seems to be walking well and talking about his experience to some people. He was at a school board meeting recently, and as he goes everywhere, he just receives lots of adoration and support from the community. So
right,
he
Eric,
seems
thank
to
you
be,
very much.
from afar, doing well.
All right, thank you very much, Eric. Well, if you have a full-time job, scheduling a doctor's visit, it can be a major inconvenience. In rural parts of the state, there's often no way around it. You have to take the day off in order to travel the distance it takes to get to your doctor's office and be seen. Now, it's not a new problem in Brown County. Residents are accustomed to making the trip to Bloomington or Columbus for appointments, but as Tyler Lake reports, a clinic the school corporation is developing gives people another option.
The Brown County Community Health and Wellness Center used to be a storage facility. It now has 2 exam rooms and a small waiting area, but it fills a big need for the community. And if you're a monthly member, you can drop by as often as you please.
We call it a gym membership model. So pretty much you just pay once a month, and then that gives you access to all of the services that the clinic provides.
Full-time Brown County school employees don't have to pay anything to visit the clinic. For members of the community, it's about $65 a month. The clinic is a partnership between the school system and Wellness for Life, a company based out of Terre Haute that is embracing the subscription-based model of healthcare. That model is called direct primary care. Patients pay a flat rate for care no matter how much they use the services. Dr. Andrew Hector has been practicing direct primary care for several years. He says the biggest advantage is the amount of time doctors get to spend with their patients.
On average, probably the average physician will have 2,000 or 3,000 patients, and direct primary care will be certainly under 1,000 patients, no question about it.
It's not like going to a general practitioner where you are in, you're out, and they're just looking at the computer and not really talking to you. They take the time here to talk with you.
And still, Bruner says she saves time by coming here instead of a regular doctor's office. She's the principal of Helmsburg Elementary and says a lot of the staff in her building come to the clinic now too.
To them also, they're not taking a day off work. They're not having to write lesson plans, which is huge. They aren't spending their evenings going to the doctor and sitting in a doctor's office for who knows how long.
The number of people getting treatment at the clinic has already surpassed the district's expectations, and it's only been open for about 4 months. For Bruner, it's the clinic's wellness plan that excites her the most. She comes in and uses this machine every 2 weeks. It's called an in-body machine, and it spits out information about a patient's weight, muscle mass, and how much fat they have around their vital organs.
After I saw that paper, I was like, oh wow, okay, I need to do something here. And they were wonderful. They talked to me about all of the numbers, and they talked to me about having a challenge, and I thought, I'm up for a challenge, and I need to get healthy. And so I started the challenge.
And it's working. Bruner says she's lost 15 pounds since she started coming to the clinic after it opened. The clinic serves all the functions of a regular doctor's office, and it also provides a large selection of prescription drugs, and that's all built into the monthly fee. If there's a situation the clinic doctor can't treat, she refers the patient to a hospital or a specialist. Hammock says the goal of the clinic, first and foremost, is to provide quality care to residents in the county, but it's also saving the district money. Hammock didn't specify how much, but says it's significant.
It's so cost effective, and genuinely we're able to manage costs in our own location that would have been, exorbitant had we had to, send that off to a specialist somewhere else.
The direct care model does work better in some cases than others. It's particularly useful in rural areas where there aren't as many healthcare options. Some local Brown County businesses have signed up their full-time employees to get access to care through the clinic. Right now, the clinic is only open about 2 days a week. But as more people join, Hammock says the clinic will expand its service hours. In addition to school employees, there are about 65 residents signed up for the clinic.
So we're really trying to get to that 5-day-a-week opening, and we're getting there.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Tyler Lake.
Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. A law going into effect next month could help some Hoosiers learn more about their birth parents. We'll have that as we go through the latest statewide news headlines. Plus, work is underway to renovate Austin's baseball field. It's bringing people together in the community that was at the center of the state's HIV outbreak. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
The WTIU WFIU news team connects Indiana to the world. We bring you the top news of the day on radio, TV, and online. We round up the stories that have people talking each week and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. The WTIU WFIU news team is where you are and telling your story.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18 fine. 24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure. Wow. A national treasure. Congratulations. I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Barbara Brozier joins us again for headlines. She has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. About 20% of Indiana's registered voters cast ballots in last month's midterm primary. Now, that's a significant increase from the 13% in 2014's election. The lowest was Vanderburgh County's 10%. A new dairy processing facility in Fort Wayne could help some farmers who lost their contracts this year with Dean Foods. Walmart opened its new 250,000 square foot plant this week. Brock Turner reports.
Company officials say it's Walmart's first foray into food processing on U.S. soil, and they're excited to partner with Hoosiers. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb says the plant is a win for everyone involved.
The area farmers and all the folks that we're going to be able to supply and stock, including 5 states. But at the end of the day, this is a huge win for consumers.
This week's ribbon cutting comes after Dean Foods decided to end procurement contracts with 27 of its 28 Hoosier farmers. The company said new plants opening when there's a surplus of milk on the market led to the decision. About half of the raw milk the Walmart plant produces will come from farms in Indiana. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.
The mayor of Terre Haute and some members of the city council are at odds over the city's budget. The mayor is accusing the council of waging a political attack. Joe Wren reports on how a Terre Haute city council member is responding to the mayor's claims.
Mayor Duke Bennett says there were no issues after he gave a budget report in May.
The finance chairman said, I'm fine, it's okay, we get it. Yet, there's some political attacks is really what it boils down to.
Bennett says the city is in the process of merging data into a new accounting system. Council member Karim Nasser says he understands, but it's been 6 months since he's had any financial data.
Each time it's a couple more weeks, we're almost done. You've never gone through a software update, it's excuse after excuse.
Nasser says it makes it difficult for the council to justify decisions without financial information.
We track it ourselves, so we can pull it into spreadsheets and do some things. It's just not anything you could hand out because it comes from multiple sources.
The city has reduced its deficit from its peak of about $9 million in 2015.
Bennett says it'll take several weeks to transfer data to the new system, but he plans to get January through March reports out by the end of next week. After decades of waiting, Hoosiers put up for adoption during the state's closed adoptions era could soon learn more about their birth families. A new law that takes effect in July opens adoption records from 1941 to 1993. Many adoptees are hoping it will provide clarity to their lifelong questions.
It's actually a baby book.
As Ryan Griffith flips through these pages, questions start popping into his head.
Where did my hairline come from? I had hair till I was 18. At 18, I started to lose hair, and at 23, pretty much my hair was gone. So, where did that come from?
The limited information that fills his baby book is all Griffith knows about his origins. He was adopted shortly after being born, and his mother wrote about that day.
My mother's just wrote here, it was a beautiful, unusually warm day. Your grandma Griffith took pictures of us leaving for the courthouse.
Griffith was adopted during the state's closed records period, which means he didn't have access to information about his birth parents or their medical histories. He testified about what that means for him during a committee hearing at the State House 2 years ago.
Each and every one of you on Father's Day know who your father is and know where you came from. Each and every one of you know that. I don't know that. I don't know my heritage.
A law that takes effect July 1st allows those adopted between 1941 and 1993 access to their birth information and original birth certificates. But it also gives birth mothers some options for maintaining their privacy. They can reach out to the state and stipulate if they want any contact with the child. If mothers don't contact the state, the records will be opened. Adoptees have to fill out these forms to request their birth information, and what they get back will vary.
Where some agencies may have kept tons of information, some agencies may have kept very little. So that's going to vary.
Griffith says he's not quite sure what to expect, but he's hopeful, knowing he will at least get some answers.
It's kind of the proverbial can of worms that's going to get opened up.
Indiana University scientists are hoping new research will help reduce antibiotic resistance in the future. Researchers created a breakthrough process to observe how bacteria acquires information from DNA. Bacteria cells use hair-like appendages called pili to do a number of things, like latch onto surfaces. But they can also bind to DNA in our environment and collect it. Scientists have long hypothesized this, but could never witness the process in live cells because the appendages are about 10,000 times smaller than a strand of hair. The researchers created a method using green dye to color the pili, which allowed them to see it.
Since we now really understand what the role of these structures are in kind of binding to DNA and taking it up, if someone developed a drug that prevents that retraction or prevents the ability of these pili to function, it would drop the rates of how these bacteria are actually acquiring antibiotic resistance.
It's so crazy to see them pull that up on a screen when you know it's smaller than a piece of hair.
Amazing. Thanks, Barbara. A nonprofit flying museum is trying to keep a piece of history alive by allowing Hoosiers to get an up-close and personal look at a World War II plane this weekend. As Lindsay Wright reports, the goal is to educate communities around the country.
The Madras Maiden is a Boeing B-17 bomber. Of the more than 12,000 B-17s produced, it's one of only 12 that still fly today.
We don't know how much longer this will happen. So, when one of these old warbirds comes to your community, go take advantage of it, because I don't know how much longer we'll be doing it.
B-17s date back to World War II, and they were used for intense firepower and their ability to drop large bombs. The Liberty Foundation takes this plane around the country to educate communities. This weekend, residents can see it up close at the Indianapolis Metropolitan Airport. Shuttleworth says it's becoming more difficult to learn firsthand about World War II as the veteran population decreases.
Back when I was doing this in 2005 and 2006, we'd get 3 or 4 veterans that came out. Now, like every other stop or maybe every third stop, we get a veteran.
The B-17s flew with a crew of 10, and the space was tight. Lee Hutchinson was a radio operator on one during World War II. He says the crew faced brutal conditions at 30,000 feet in the sky. Temperatures often reached 40 below zero.
We wore long underwear, and then we had electric suit. Then we had very heavy clothing.
Hutchinson says his life's mission has been to share the stories of those who fought on these planes, and the Liberty Foundation hopes to bring them alive for Hoosiers this weekend. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Lindsay Wright.
And crews started work this week to overhaul a baseball field in Austin, Indiana. The small community beat out 3 finalists for a Major League Baseball Scotts Field refurbishment grant. The community is excited to see the $50,000 worth of upgrades.
They want to see the finished product. You know, we've had people drive by and, you know, when's it going to be? When's it going to be ready?
Crews are installing a sprinkler system and sodding the field this week. Work could wrap up sometime next week. Austin leaders say it's nice to finally get recognition for something positive after the community made national headlines a few years ago for an HIV outbreak. Now, a ribbon-cutting ceremony will happen later this month. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. The Radio and TV News Endowment, a fund established by listeners and viewers to sustain reporting of Indiana news. More information at indianapublicmedia.org/support. And by WTIU members. Thank you.